A Minister for the Feds, Simon Coveney, the man who costs us $200,000 a year for Gala drive on a car, which he could pay himself, he's gone to China. And you might be saying, people are not supposed to be travelling. Can he not do a Zoom call? Well, apparently he doesn't like Zoom calls, so he's just gone fucking over to China, because he feels like it. And he's gone licking up to them. Obviously, he's whinging and quipping and crying. He said, China's my overlord and China's my saviour. X, Y, and Z, and he won't say, and he won't even mention Taiwan or anything like that. And funny enough, this is the good part, and the media will cover this. They're talking about cybersecurity. And you might be wondering to yourself, that sounds familiar. But they call me a conspiracy theorist. But yeah, the HCA cyber attack happened for you, and now they're talking about cybersecurity with China. Out of every country in the world, you could say we want to cooperate in cybersecurity and things like that. You think to be going to the United States, Canada, maybe the UK, maybe France, Norway, Sweden, Denmark. Them countries, you think they'd be going over to them and say, let's work together. Let's, about intelligence agency, say take for example Norway, works with the Irish intelligence agency in improving the cybersecurity for the both countries. You think they would go to them countries, but no, they say we go to a communist dictatorship where they treat the people like utter robots and drones, people that just ordered by the state to do what they say and not what you want to do. Again, no such thing as freedom in China. But you think Simon Coveney said, you're imprisoning indigenous minorities in prisons here and you're treating them like unhuman. You think he mentioned that to the Chinese foreign minister? You think he mentioned it over there? You think he said anything? But this is the next thing I ask. There was an Irish citizen kept over in China. He was wrongly detained. He was detained for a long, long time. I wonder, did he mention it? Did he condemn them for doing that? Did he say to them, this state condemns them in the strongest possible terms for doing that to an Irish citizen? But I bet he said fuck all about it. I bet he licked up the hole and then he probably said something about it. Literally, you couldn't make this up. Minister of the Feds going over to China to lick up to them. I never see, if I was Taoiseach and if I was Taoiseach, I'd get rid of this Minister of the Feds. Especially because his job now with Ireland's national security is threatened. Again, Ireland's national security was threatened by this HSC attack. He should be in Ireland as Minister of the Feds. He shouldn't be going licking up to every other country in the world. And he's all big-headed. And I tell you straight, Simon Coveney's all big-headed. He's too busy with this European Security Council. He's too busy, the United Nations Security Council, sorry, not the European Security Council. He's too up in the head about it. Even though it's good that Ireland's on it, I might be honest, but it does infringe on our neutrality, I'll be honest with you. But they're too busy being busybodies in interfering with everything they can interfere with. Literally, they couldn't interfere anymore with everything happening in the world. They have to have, Simon Coveney has to have some kind of say. But he doesn't have anything to say when this country's cybersecurity is attacked. He fucking said nothing for so long. He sat down on his hands and done nothing. And he was too busy licking up to every other country in the world. But he's gone talking to the Chinese. I don't know, don't ask me why he couldn't have a Zoom call. Again, he didn't pay for the flight. Don't worry about that. It's the taxpayer. You and I have to pay for it. I bet you any money we're giving a huge amount of money to China. And what did he ask? Because again, I was called a conspiracy theorist at the beginning of this. I said from the start, again, I'm unproven, I might be unproven wrong, but I said it was definitely made in a Chinese lab. It was definitely China that had something to do with this. Because you can't trust the communists. That's something we should all know. Communism never works, and you can't trust them. You can't trust them. They're always sneaky. They always will try and find a way of destroying the West and destroying capitalism, and destroying our democracy. And Simon Coveney doesn't give a damn. The money speaks, money talks. Again, this is what it is. Money talks. Capitalism loves its money. Again, you think the one country, and I tell you, there's loads of countries across this world in Europe and Asia, Africa, other countries that are treat their people with respect and with dignity. And one country goes to is China. China, above all the countries, and he says he wants to strengthen European ties, EU ties. If that was me, and if I was told by my Taoiseach or Brian Taoiseach or whatever the European leaders, the European overlords of Ireland, to go to China, I'd tell them to go fuck themselves. I might as well tell you straight, I'd tell them to go fuck themselves. Also, I found the line in the West who are just, at the end of the day, they're using this country for everything they can get of it. You don't see Germany or France or the Netherlands paying back. For the European recovery fund, Ireland's the OT betraying Ireland, saying we got a big deal and everything because me home man was only there about 10 minutes as Taoiseach and he fucked the country over straight away. We have to pay back the most out of the whole EU. And you don't hear RT saying, this is an outrageous thing. How dare the government do this without consulting the average people? And no other country has to pay it back. And Ireland's already struggling in debt, even though the economy is strong enough in this country. It's not the point. There's other countries with far bigger people. France, Germany have far bigger populations, and they pay very less. And Ireland's put the price on and made pay, and we only got $1 billion out of them, in funds, and we had to pay back something like huge amount more billions compared to 1 billion we're getting off them. Which is fuck all, and you have to just say straight. And my whole Martin really said the Irish people down the way for there. And OT proclaimed it as a win for the Ireland. How we got £1 million, but we don't want to look at how much we have to pay back, and the future generations are going to be in debt. Again, the way they just haven't we whole Martin, the Irish government, the one that admit a finger. And they really just the European Union, the European Anglo Merkel, the rest of them just say to the Irish government how high to jump. Tell them to jump, and they say hi. The government, because that's how much of a good dogs they are for this European overlords. And again, it's just putting it straight. It's just putting it straight facts. And this fucking snake, Simon Coveney. And again, I wouldn't mind if he actually did something. Like he's good as Minister for Foreign Affairs because he looks up to everybody, fucking every country, Tom, Dick and Harry. But Minister for Defence, he's treating his soldiers like, for fuck's sake, the Navy can't even patrol its waters. And we're getting European ships, which is Simon Coveney's main goal. He loves these European Union brothers coming into this country and buying up everything. He loves it. It's determined, and then he have Chinese warships off our coast sooner or later. Which I wouldn't put it past him. He sell his country out to the Chinese. He has no respect for this country. We have to just say that it is. We have to just say that it is. I wouldn't go. And I'll tell you straight, I'm always very wary of a communist state. I'm always very wary. I know what they do to its citizens, to its own people, to ethnic minorities. And I tell you straight, I wouldn't go near the Chinese ambassador. I wouldn't go near any of them. I would literally refuse to go near them. Because what they're doing to people, to their own citizens, to their own people, to people in Taiwan, things like that, threaten them at any moment to invade. I don't think Ireland should ever even celebrate the Chinese Communist Party, even give them the time of day. There's many other countries around the world that would rather have Ireland as a friend than China. Because again, China likes Ireland as a backdoor industry. And obviously TikTok's international headquarters is in Ireland, which they pay little tax, obviously, and there's nothing done about it. And obviously, with small business has to pay fucking almighty amount of tax because they're not foreign international businesses. They're not the big globalist powers. It's the small rural man who owns the corner shop, who's providing local goods to local people and supporting local communities, supporting local voluntary groups. They go after them. They don't like that. They don't like local people supporting local communities. They don't like them supporting the local people, supporting local industries. They don't like that. They hate that. They want to rely on big corporations from China, from foreign countries, big powerful countries that they think are class people, threatening their people, imprisoning people. And this is where Ireland's going, celebrating these countries. And that's what we're doing. Literally, Simon Coveney shouldn't be going near it. And I think we all would agree. He should stay at home. He should say utterly refuse for all China has done. And even with the coronavirus, China's not been genuine, which it didn't cooperate with the United Nations or anything to say how it happened, why it happened, X, Y, and Z. They weren't very cooperative. And you think Simon Coveney would be like, you know what, I'm not going to go. Send somebody from France, send somebody from Germany to lick up to them. I would have respect if Simon Coveney turned around and said, no, I won't go. I will resign if I have to go. And I would say I give him my vote. I would give him my vote if he'd done that. But no, he's just like, I'm going to go and be a good boy. And you'll get a few bucks at the end of the day and get a free holiday. Get a free holiday. 5-star hotel. The average taxpayer has to pay for it. Again, this is what we have to stop. We have to stop these bloody politicians from thinking they're God Almighty Father and that they're the creator of heaven and earth. That's what they think of themselves. These politicians are full of themselves and they don't think they're answerable to anybody. And I'm sure the vast majority of people watching this would say, why should Ireland give the Chinese Communist Party even a second to say? And again, during the COVID pandemic, there's many people who want to go on holidays. Want to go off, want to get away from this communist dictopia, which is the Irish Republic at the moment. And they can't go. They can't go anywhere. And he's getting fucking going off to China for, I don't know why, for the weekend. He's gone off for the weekend. He's gone to bully to some beach in China and he's gone fucking on his 5-star hotel and he's fucking done nothing. But yeah, great country. That's all I say.